Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Happy Halloween to everyone, and happy Thursday evening to everyone. I hope everyone had a blessed and productive Thursday today, and I hope everyone is enjoying themselves on this Halloween day. Now, if you hear in the noise in the background, that's the trick or treaters outside the office. Trick or treating. We'll put a barrel of candy out there for them. So they can help themselves. Well, so if you hear a little noise in the background, that's it. That's what you'll be hearing. But today we're going to be discussing the game that we have circled every year. Records go out the window when it comes to this game. Uh, the world's largest cocktail party between the Georgia Bulldogs, and my Georgia Bulldogs, and the Florida Gators. My Georgia Bulldogs are coming into this game 6-1, ranked number 2 in the nation. The Florida Gators coming into this game, they're pretty much on a little hot streak right now. They are 4-3 currently right now. So we're going to discuss this matchup. Some people are predicting that this game could be pretty much a blowout and that Georgia should win by multiple touchdowns. But everybody pump your brakes, and I'm going to tell you why. This Florida team is not to be played with. So we're going to discuss this. I'm going to give a brief preview, and I'm going to give you my prediction, my score prediction for the game as well. So get your popcorn ready. This is the Dawg Call. Good evening. Salute and welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Dawg Call. I'm your host, Armondo Black, here to come talk some world's largest cocktail party, the showdown in Jacksonville between my Georgia Bulldogs, ranked number 2 in the nation, 6-1 record, versus the Florida Gators, they're unranked, 4-3. Now, let me pick up from where I left off at. And a lot of you are saying, well, wow, Mondo, why are you're not confident? I'm very confident about this game. But everyone, you know this is a rivalry. These two teams do not like each other. The fan bases hate each other. Anything can happen in this game. This is a rivalry, a nasty rivalry. How many times has Florida come into this game undefeated? We had a couple of losses and we upset them. Remember 1985? Remember the Pulpwood game? Remember 1997? Let's go back to 85. 85, Florida came into that game undefeated. We had a couple of losses in 1985 and we beat them. 1997, Florida came into that game ranked in the top 3. We had multiple losses coming into that game and we upset them. Remember 2002, We came into the game ranked number 2 in the nation, undefeated. Undefeated. And a lot of people remember that 2002 year and think back to that Florida game. Uh, we were reckless with the ball. We turned the ball over. DJ Shockley made some costly turnovers. Uh, there were a couple of drop passes, balls that were thrown to receivers that should have been caught, and it cost us the game in 2002, and it cost us a chance to play in the BCS championship game against Miami. We dropped out of the top 3. Ohio State moves up. They get to go to the Fiesta Bowl and play Miami, and the rest is history. Ohio State wins a national title in 2002. I really feel like that was one of the times, if it was any year that Mark Richt should have had a national title, it was 2002. So records don't mean anything. Records don't mean a damn thing when it comes to the Georgia-Florida game. All right. I give you another example. 2005, we came into the game undefeated, ranked in the top 10, and Florida upsets us. DJ Shockley was injured for the game. We had to go with a backup. I think it was Joe Tereshinski, something like that. I hate mispronouncing people's names when I do a podcast, but I hope I got as close as I could possibly get with his name. But and let me just give a breakdown of the game. Florida has a decent secondary, okay, but their run defense has been shaky all season. If you remember the Miami game, Miami ran all over Florida, right? They've given up a lot of yardage on the ground. So, and it leads me to this point right here, all right? Right about now, rest of the way, I really don't care about style points. I really don't. We're in a 12-team playoff, okay? We beat and we dominated the marquee game on our schedule. We went into Austin and dominated the Texas Longhorns. My fellow Georgia fans, don't be surprised if this game is an ugly win, if it's a little closer than we wanted it to be. Kind of like the Auburn game last year or the Missouri game 2 years ago, or even the Kentucky game. This could be a situation where this could be another Kentucky situation because this Florida defense is kind of stout up front. The secondary is pretty good. Now, Mike Bobo. Right about now, we just have to be, and listen, I hope no one takes offense to this, and I hope no one get upset what I'm about to say. Right about now, we're in week 10. We need to be honest with ourselves as Georgia Bulldogs fans, all right? Carson Beck is pretty much a game manager, all right? We were trying to turn him into something that he's not. And there's nothing wrong with being a game manager. The GOAT, in my opinion, the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time in the NFL were game managers, Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Both of them were game managers. Neither one of them were gunslingers. When I think about gunslingers, I think about Dan Marino. I think about John Elway. I think about Drew Bledsoe, Bernie Kosar, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Fouts. Those were the gunslingers. Lynn Dickey. Those were the gunslingers, all right? Game managers won championships. So there's nothing wrong when someone says game manager, quit taking offense to it. Quit getting offended when someone uses that term. There's nothing wrong with being labeled a game manager. All right, maybe that's what we need because it appears from what I saw in Austin, our strength is when we're running the ball this year. We don't have a George Pickens. We don't have a Ladd McConkey. We don't have Brock Bowers. We don't have A.J. Green. We don't have A.D. Mitchell. We don't have any of that, but we got 2 good running backs that's subject to break a 80-yard touchdown run at any time. At any time, we have two good running backs right now, Nate Frazier and Trevor Etienne. And maybe, just maybe, this is the game where we need to take it to the ground. We need to ground and pound, feed the hot hand. Whoever has the hot hand, Etienne, Frazier, whoever has the hot hand, we need to ground and pound. Now, I'm hearing Ratledge is coming back, which I don't agree with bringing him back for this game. All right. Michael Morris is doing a damn good job. Let Ratledge heal properly. I don't think Ratledge would be ready until maybe, I really didn't expect him to be back until no sooner than the Georgia Tech game. I had no idea that this man, from the severity of what I saw when he was carted off the field that night in Kentucky, I did not think that we would see him anytime soon until maybe Thanksgiving weekend against Georgia Tech. And those were going to be on some maybe like limited action. But they're actually saying that he could actually come back and play in the game. So if that's the case, then we would love to have him back. I would love to have Jordan Hall back. And I would love to have Broderick Robertson back, because we need a bulldozer. We need someone that if we get into a situation on 4th and 1, there's no doubt that Carson Beck could turn around, hand the ball off to Broderick Robertson. Boom, he's in there for a touchdown. Nate Frazier and Trevor Etienne, their style of running is more slash. They more run around you. Frazier will run through you if he has to. He proved that in the Auburn game and a little bit in the Texas game. Etienne was on fire. He was in the zone against Texas. Now, can he do that against Florida? But this is the thing. He's playing against his former team. And history shows when a running back plays against his former team, that defense knows him inside and out. They know his strengths and weaknesses. So it may be a Nate Frazier type of game. It could be a Cash Jones type of game. We could see some jet sweeps with Arian Smith, or have Dylan Bell lining up in the backfield, Deebo Samuel, some Deebo Samuel type of stuff, packages. So whatever, I think it will take the ground game in order for us to beat Florida. Lagway, you want the key with him, and he's a good quarterback. He's dangerous. And if you give him enough possessions, then you will find ourselves in a situation where we could be in danger of being upset. Ground and pound, eat the clock up, eat up time of possession like we did against Texas, and let's just get out of there with a win. I don't give a damn about style points, and that's the thing with us fans we got to get out of. We're in a new era of college football. Now, when it was down to 14 playoffs, yes, you need the style points, but it's 12. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 12. It's 12. Right now, we're in the era where just win, baby. Even if it's by 1 point or just win, baby. I don't give a damn about style points. Let's just get out of there with a W. Now, one thing that kind of concerned me in that Texas game is when we were up by 15 and we had the game in hand, Bobo was still calling pass plays. You cannot do that. You cannot do that, because he almost cost us the game. There were times that Carson Beck was throwing the ball right to the Texas defensive backs. I don't know what's going on with Carson Beck this year. I don't know what's going on. His little, look. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. But he has regressed in 2024. Let's just be honest. We as fans, quit blaming it on Bobo. Quit blaming it on the damn receivers. There have been times where the ball was just off. There have been plenty of times where he just either overthrown the receivers, or thrown it behind the receivers, or thrown it too far out in front of the receivers, or just thrown it to the other team. The man has regressed compared to last year. Let's just be totally honest. So maybe Kirby and Bobo, this is the week that you need to put a leash on him. Put a leash on him and just manage the damn game, and let's get out of there with a win. Because right now, the rest of the way, as long as we win, it don't matter if it's by 1 point. As long as we win out, we're in Atlanta, and we have a chance of winning the SEC championship game and getting a bye into the playoffs. That's what matters. I can give a damn about style points. It's 12-team playoff. Long as you win, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So I don't think that they have Georgia. I think it's at 17 now. I don't think Georgia will cover that. I really don't. I don't think Georgia will cover that. This is not the same Florida team that we played last year. This team has improved. They have improved. They have a better quarterback. They're playing with confidence. They have some decent wideouts. They have a decent defense. They are, right now, they are on a little winning streak, and they are confident. They are hot right now. And we need to cool them off by all means necessary. And I say, run, 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 run. Dink and dong, play action pass. It's not necessary for us to be trying to get Carson to throw the ball down the field, because that's just not a part of his game. That's not his strength. Let's just be totally honest. Carson Beck being able to throw the ball 60 or 70 yards down the field and make long touchdown, it's rare. It's rare. It would have to be a situation where the defense has blown coverage or whatever. But him on a 50-50 situation, throwing it downfield to one of our receivers, it just hasn't been happening this year. We're in week 10. And if it ain't happened by now, we have to just accept what we have and win how we can win. We won a national title before with game managers in my lifetime. But Baloo, what was he? A game manager. He was not a gunslinger. He was a game manager. Stetson in 2021, he was a game manager. He wasn't a gunslinger. And then in 2022, he turned into a gunslinger. But in 2021, he managed the game. He matriculated the ball down the field, dink and dong, 5 yards here, 10 yards here, 10 yards there, 10 yards there. He did what was necessary to get us in the end zone. And that's what we need to get back to, winning the damn game. Damn the style points. Let's just go down there, play good defense. We have to wrap up. We have to tackle. We have to put pressure on Lagway. Don't be doing that 3-man rush, 4-man rush. If we need to send more men after him to get him on the ground, and when we get a chance to get him on the ground, we need to get him on the ground. We can't play around with Florida because they're our rivals, and they would love nothing more than to spoil our season and keep us from winning the national title. Won't be the first time that they've ever done it. They cost Mark Richt a national title in 2002, because there's no doubt in my mind, if we had won that game against Florida and remained undefeated and got to the Fiesta Bowl and got a chance to play that 2002 Miami team, we would have wiped the floor with them. There's no doubt in my mind, because I feel like that 02 Georgia Bulldog team was better than Miami and that 02 Ohio State team. So this week is not about style points, and I don't care about the rankings. I don't give a damn about the rankings. That's just decoration, because at the end of the day, whoever wins the SEC right now, the way it looks, whoever wins the SEC title is going to either have the number 1 or the number 2 seed. And the way it's set up, really honestly, the 2 seed has a better path versus the 1 seed. The 1 seed is looking like I think the 1 seed may have to play the 5 seed. So we have to look at the whole totality of the situation. Let's just get there. We got to get to Atlanta and get a chance to play for the SEC championship game and get that bye. And in order for us to do that, we have to take care of business. The rest of the way, we've gotten through the toughest part of our schedule. Bama, Texas. We've gotten through the toughest part of our schedule. I think the one last major hurdle is Tennessee. That's the one last major hurdle. Ole Miss, they're going to be scrappy. But we are a better team than Ole Miss. We should beat them. I don't give a damn that the game is in the Grove. We should be able to beat them. But that's neither here or there, one game at a time. And I want to address something here. I was watching Kangaroo Black. Shout out to Kangaroo Black. You're doing a great job, man. Like I said, Kangaroo, man, hey, man, it's all fun and games, man. For the love of college football, I know just like you love your Crimson Tide, I love my Georgia Bulldogs, all right? I was listening to you the other day, and he was speaking on something that Danny Cannell had said. And then I went and listened to the soundbite where Danny Cannell was making those ridiculous predictions or whatever. I just want to say this. Bama has just as much chance of getting to the playoffs as LSU. Bama is not out of this thing. Any of you think that Bama is out right now, you're gullible. You really are. You're delusional. If they beat LSU, they are right back in it. And I'm going to tell you something else. Now, we are not out the woods. We are not out the woods because there are a lot of teams in the SEC with one losses. If we lose a game, if we lose to Florida, Ole Miss, or Tennessee, we're going to go right back. And we're going to go to the back of the line because there's so many teams behind us with one loss. Not only will we go to the back of the line behind Texas and Texas A&M and LSU and Tennessee, but we'll go in the back of the line behind Bama because they beat us. That is why it is imperative that we take care of business the rest of the way. What we did in Austin, it cannot be a one-time one-hit wonder. We cannot do that. We have to bring that same intensity the rest of the season. And November is going to be rough. Kirby said it in the press conference. He said November is not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy because we're going to be facing teams that are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. Teams that have never been in the playoffs. Ole Miss and Tennessee never made an appearance in the playoffs. And there's only one thing standing in their way of getting there, and that's my Georgia Bulldogs. So we got to stay on top of our game, and we got to have our stuff together. Trying to keep from cursing on here, but we got to have our stuff together. So that's my take on it. I want to give my score prediction on this game. I'm going to go out. I'm going to say 27-17. My Georgia Bulldogs. And to address Danny Cannell on this, Georgia will get to the national championship and lose to Oregon. First of all, Danny Cannell, one game at a time. Ain't nothing guaranteed. I'm not even putting us in the playoffs, and I'm damn sure not putting us in the national championship game against Oregon. Nothing is set in stone right now. Same thing for Oregon. They can run into a buzzsaw Saturday against Michigan. We don't know. Any given Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, any given Saturday. If you pay attention to this season is very strange. Very strange. Anything can happen in 2024. Just keep that in mind. So, my fellow Georgia Bulldog fans, listen, don't be upset if this game is much closer than the experts think. So, I'm predicting 27-17. It could be closer than that. It could be 27-21 or 27-20. You never know. Hell, I will take a 1-point win. It doesn't matter. A win is a damn win. Long as we get out of there with a W, that's all that matters. I want to thank all of you for coming out and joining me here on the Dawg Call. Hey, listen, we are in crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in crunch time, and we can't take no team lightly. We can't, especially this team right here. This team is hungry. They are dangerous, and this is our rival. And they will love nothing more than to spoil our season. And we have to be ready for it. We have to be ready for it Saturday. So everyone, thank you all. Hit that like button on your way out. Leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think? How do you feel about this game? How do you see this game going? Do you think Georgia can take care of business, or do you see an upset brewing in Jacksonville on Saturday? Georgia Bulldogs on a 3-game winning streak. The last time Florida won was in 2020, which was an election year. So we're in an election year this year. So, hey, you know, and to be honest with you, the only election year that we actually won was 2012. We won in 2012. We won in 2012. But I was gonna say we haven't beat them in an election year this century. But I'm trying to think. We beat them in 04, and we beat them in 2012. Yeah. But in 08, 16, and 2020, they beat us. So just keep that in mind when it comes to this game, the Jacksonville game, the world's largest cocktail party. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Records go out the window, completely out the window. All right. So everyone hit that like button. Thank you all for coming out. I'm Armondo Black. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Be safe out there. If you're going to a Halloween party, you know, just be safe out there. Be careful and be safe out. Be safe out there. Thank you all. Peace and blessings. Like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And one last thing. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. This has been a Dawg Call.